back, Chicago. You're listening to the Agile Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. My next guest, as promised, is Chanss Weber. He's a serial entrepreneur with over 15 years of experience in the marketing and advertising industries. He founded Agile & Co., and I love that name. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, in St. Louis in 2012. Certainly a fascinating business story, which I want to get into, and I want to talk all about marketing. Chanss Weber, welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure to have you. So I love to get to know the person behind the microphone. I know you've got quite a story, starting with a pretty rotten credit score. I'll just be blunt, as well as a $15,000 loan from your parents to start a digital marketing agency, which I think is doing pretty darn well. So Chanss, what's your story?
Yeah, I actually was up in Chicago in your area, and I was 29 years old. And I'd had a couple of corporate jobs that I would say I did okay in, not terrible, not amazing, but just really didn't have my purpose and wasn't doing anything that I loved. I was a financial advisor for a while. Then I got into recruiting and financial services, both jobs that were, sales oriented, but just weren't my passion in life, just kind of lost in general. I don't think I had a lot of direction looking back on it as a child coming, in early childhood all the way up through high school and even into college. And kind of hit this point in life, like I said, I was about 29 years old, that I was like, hey, you know what? Like, I need to go for something different. Met a guy, actually didn't meet him, reconnected with him, knew him in college, who had a digital marketing agency, and he was trying to recruit me to come do sales for him. Essentially offered me a job, and I'm looking in the mirror every day going, okay, like, is this another job? Like, what am I doing? What am I passionate about? Made the decision that I didn't need him or anybody else. I could do this on my own. So I went to mom and dad, and my mommy and my daddy, as I say this, I'll be 40 years old in a couple of months. My mommy and my daddy loaned me $15,000. They actually put a lien on my car that probably was not worth $15,000. This is nothing like through a bank, but we had a document that we signed. I don't come from much money at all. Actually came up pretty poor, to be candid. But they put a lien on my vehicle. The basis said, if you can't pay this, we're going to take your car. And I took my 483 credit score and that money to St. Louis, which was obviously a much cheaper, more cost-efficient market to build a business out of, and started it here. And I'm still here to this day, 10 going on 11 years later. So yes, that is my story. We are now a multi-million-dollar digital marketing agency, hopefully going to cross 8 figures in revenue, either this year or next year. So it's been a hell of a run, but I wouldn't change anything for the world.
Congratulations on all of that success. I'm chatting with Chanss Weber, who's just been sharing his story of maybe not rags to riches, but maybe somewhere in between that. And that's,
Right.
it's an inspiring story. Serial entrepreneur and marketing expert. We're going to talk more about marketing in just a minute. But, I am curious when we're talking about startups, when we're talking about entrepreneurship, most small businesses don't succeed. Let's call it as it is. I think the statistic is that over 90% actually fail. Why do you believe that is? And if you can be so candid in talking about some of your failures.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that the biggest reason that small businesses don't succeed is the will. It sounds so cheesy and cliche, but I mean, I feel like I literally went through hell and back, especially in the first 5 years to get the company off of the ground. The first year in business, I actually had my former employer. I had a great relationship with my boss. I owed this guy way more than I'll ever be able to repay him, but he terminated me for a reason that I could collect unemployment for a little while to bridge the gap. Because I told him the truth. I told him what I was doing and why I was leaving. But I think that the people just give up too easy. We're in a place in society where we have iPhones, we have iPads, we have computers, we have this thing called Google where we can just get answers in a second, right? And people don't understand that the road to success is a marathon, not a sprint. I literally just talked to a female yesterday out of California. She has a boutique. She's in year 13. She did not make her first 6 figures until year 10. Now she's making 7 figures 3 years later. So it's just a lot of people, I think, quit too early. And we've been almost conditioned as a society that these things just happen very quickly, right? Like go build out an e-commerce website, go sell a product, or go build out an Amazon store. Just let Amazon sell it for you. People just think these things happen so fast. And it couldn't be more from the truth and the reality. I mean, sure, those stories exist, but they're 1 in a million for the, every other small business that has to get off the ground and fight and grind every single step of the way. And I think you just got to have the will and have the attitude of, for me, from the beginning, it was, I will never quit, ever.
No,
I have nothing to lose. I will never quit. And I never did. And that's where I'm at now.
Absolutely. Well, Chance, again, your marketing agency is doing quite well, has helped, most importantly, so many entrepreneurs like those tuning in to our program. We're going to talk more about this over the next few minutes. But Agile and Co. So first of all, where's that name come from, and who do you serve?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Agile methodology, but it's actually a methodology that's big in the tech world, big in the development world. And we adopted a similar concept to that methodology about 6 years ago now. And how we rolled out our services was very different. Instead of the old school retainer model where an agency would say, hey, for the next year, we're going to do this many blogs, this many, Google ads, this many Facebook ads, and we just go do that for a year. Instead, our concept was very different. We're going to make a plan for month one. And then we're going to evaluate the data after every single month and reallocate your funds accordingly. So just we adopted that methodology of being able to shift and move, which sounds like common sense, but believe it or not, I still don't think 95% of agencies adopt a concept like this. It's like set it and forget it type of model where we're the exact opposite. Did it hurt my margins? Yes. But our retention went through the roof. Performance went through the roof. So that's where the name came from, was the Agile methodology. And that's where I derived it out of, was Agile and Co.
That's awesome. So you're helping so many folks, and I know that we're going to share some of your expertise both on paid ads, search engine optimization in just a minute. But we've got to squeeze in a very quick break. But before we go to break, what is your website and where can people learn more about you, your story, and your team?
Sir, it's agileandco.com. So that's AGILEAND co.com. And that tells exactly how we fundamentally function. It talks about our onboarding process and everything that we do as an agency.
Awesome. Quick break. When we return, more with Chanss Weber in just a minute here on Get Down to Business. No doubt all of our small business owners tuning into the program are excited by what they're hearing, because it's pretty exciting when you can hear a story like that of Chanss Weber starting on a $15,000 loan and growing their business. But not everybody knows exactly the steps that they need to take. And Chanss, I know you've sort of fallen in love with marketing and have helped so many small business owners. What are the principles that you've seen hold sort of the tried and true methods, even in the midst of all the dynamics changing in the midst of COVID?
Yeah, no, I think that the willingness to being able to pivot. I will never forget, and most of us won't, right? It's kind of like the event of 9/11. We can all remember that. I think we're also all going to look back at COVID and remember the pandemic. Years from now, we're going to reflect on this kind of moment in history. But I'll never forget that President Trump made the announcement on a Sunday that the famous 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And by Wednesday, I had personally lost over $1.5 million in revenue. It was heartbreaking. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to have to let my staff go. But we instantly pivoted. What we did as an agency is we reached out to every single client and became an immediate resource. What can we do for you? We were providing services that weren't even what we do as an agency. They're not even marketing services. It was, what can we help you with? Can we help you communicate with your team, your employees? Can we help you with communicating with your clients and what's going on? So really just put ourselves on the forefront to, be a resource for them. I'm proud to say that every single one of those clients came back except for one within 30 days. So we lost that revenue for a month, and then it came back immediately. So it was an amazing thing to watch happen. But a lot of the business, I've talked to so many businesses, to be candid with you, that have absolutely crushed it through the pandemic. Of course, the restaurants, the mom and pop shops, they've been hit hardest, and it's obviously been a horrific thing. But I mean, 2020 was the best year I had ever had in business, and that is with that month being in it. And then
Well, let's talk
2021
about what you're
doubled.
doing. I want to hear a
Yeah,
little bit more about some of those techniques. I know you're big in search engine optimization, big into
yeah,
advertising. Tell us a little bit more about
yep.
that.
Absolutely. So full service digital marketing agency, search engine optimization, Google ads, Facebook ads. At this point, in our journey, we're managing millions of dollars a month in ad spend across those platforms. So, for us, it's pretty simple. I really try to take all the craziness out of marketing. How do we make you more money than you're paying us? And I think having our agile model in general and the ability to say, hey, look, this is not working, but that's okay because we already have plan B sitting here ready so we can pivot immediately. And that ties back to the people that thrived in COVID, right? They didn't sit around and be scared to death. They pivoted, right? They literally changed their approach immediately or did whatever they had to do to adapt to the times. And that's what we do for our clients in a nutshell on a regular basis, pandemic or not. And I think that's part of what has really separated us.
If folks remember nothing else from this conversation, what is the one thing that they need to do in their business to sort of stand out from their competitors and to grow their business in the week ahead?
Yes, I would say I will make a comment on the marketing perspective. Understand the X's and O's of digital marketing if you're going to hire a marketing agency. Unfortunately, there's more bad ones than good ones out there. And I hate to be a pessimistic guy, but it's just the reality of it. I would challenge entrepreneurs, small business owners, you need to understand the 101 basics of digital marketing before you hire a digital marketing agency. No different than you need to understand what a P&L is before you hire a CPA, right? Just common sense logic to make sure that you're vetting your partner as clearly as you possibly can, and that you're hiring somebody who's going to work with you.
That's good advice right there. Again, Chanss Weber, CEO, founder of Agile and Co. based in St. Louis, and certainly quite a dynamic entrepreneurial story and quite a bit of great advice in this conversation. I look forward to having you back on real soon. But all of our listeners need to get in touch with you. Where can they learn more?
Yeah, the easiest place to go again is just our website, agileandco.com. Again, our process is on there. It's outlined step by step of how we function as an agency. I can be contacted directly through that website. Either myself or somebody on my team handles every single inbound, lead that we take as an agency. So absolutely, that's the easiest way.
Agileandco.com. Thank you so much for joining us, Chanss Weber. That's a wrap for us here and Get Down to Business. You can always go to my website, shalomklein.com, or check us out on Facebook, anywhere on social media. To success, let's get down to business. We'll talk to you next Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on AM 560 The Answer.